From the code that makes your phone work to the biggest questions we can ask about consciousness itself, artificial intelligence is, well, it's changing everything. So today, we're going to break it all down, what it is, where it's going, and what it really means for all of us. Here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll lay the foundation and just figure out what AI even is. Then we'll look at the reality of how it's already out there in our world. After that, we're going to dive into the big philosophical questions it brings up. And finally, we'll look out towards the horizon and what our future with AI might look like. All right, first things first, before we can talk about the future, we have to get on the same page. What is artificial intelligence? Okay, so here's the key. AI isn't really one single thing. It's more like a giant toolbox, filled with all these different technologies that are all working toward one massive goal, building machines that can think. The idea is to copy human intelligence, how we learn, how we reason, how we see the world, by building systems that are actually inspired by the way our own brains are wired. Now, you might think AI is this brand new phenomenon, but its story actually goes all the way back to the 1950s. And it's been a real roller coaster. You had these AI booms where everyone was excited and money was pouring in, followed by these AI winters, when the technology just couldn't live up to the hype and everything froze over. But with every cycle, computers got more powerful, we got more data, and AI got smarter. I mean, from beating the world's best chess player in the 90s to the incredible tools like ChatGPT we have today, it's been a wild ride. So, that's the history lesson. But what about right now? Let's talk about the reality of AI and how it's officially moved out of the lab and into our world. The thing is, AI isn't some far-off sci-fi concept anymore. It's here, right now. It's quietly working in the background of pretty much every industry you can think of, from medicine and money to the movies and shows you watch every single day. And there are very few places where its impact is as huge, as absolutely profound as it is in medicine. So what's AI's superpower here? It's all about analyzing massive amounts of data, way more than any human doctor ever could. It can spot tiny patterns in a medical scan that a person might miss, helping to catch cancer earlier. It can help create treatment plans tailored specifically to a patient's own genetic code. And it can even give surgeons a robotic hand for incredible precision. But AI isn't just in the operating room, it's completely woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. I mean, think about it. Every time you ask a navigation app for the fastest route, or get a recommendation for a new show, or even just notice that spam got filtered out of your inbox, yep, that's an AI at work. These systems are the invisible engines that are making our digital lives run a whole lot smoother. And when you have this much practical power, it naturally leads you away from just asking, how does it work, and toward asking, what if? It forces us to deal with some of the biggest questions there are about intelligence, about consciousness, and what it actually means to think. This is the big one. The question that started it all, really. The one Alan Turing asked way back in 1950, long before the tech even existed to really try and answer it. And even with all the progress we've made, this question, can a machine truly think, is still the most fundamental, most debated question in all of AI. Today, the people building this stuff are kind of split into two camps. Do we try to build an AI that thinks humanly, one that copies our own complicated, creative, and sometimes totally illogical thought process? Or do we just focus on building an AI that acts rationally, a system that just finds the most efficient, logical path to a goal, even if its thinking is completely alien to us? And what's wild is that this whole debate is anything but new. We're talking centuries ago. The philosopher Thomas Hobbes planted the seed for this whole idea. He basically argued that reasoning is, well, it's just a form of calculation. It's just math. And that idea completely challenges the notion that human thought is some special magical thing, and suggests that, in theory, a machine could absolutely do it too. Which brings us to what's called the hard problem of consciousness. Look, an AI can process data and act intelligently, no doubt. But can it ever actually feel anything? Can it experience the color red or feel the warmth of the sun on its circuits? Is there an actual subjective experience going on inside, or is it just an incredibly sophisticated act? That is the fuzzy, blurry line between intelligence and consciousness.
Okay, so we've got these incredibly powerful real-world tools on one side and these absolutely mind-bending philosophical questions on the other. So with all that in mind, where do we go from here? What does our future with this technology actually look like?
The future of AI is a classic double-edged sword. There's no other way to put it. On one hand, the potential is just staggering. It can reduce mistakes, take on dangerous jobs, and solve problems we never could on our own. But then there's the flip side. We're talking about huge costs, the very real possibility of job displacement, and some really tough ethical questions about bias, privacy, and who is ultimately in control.
And let's be clear about one thing. This is not a trend that's slowing down. In fact, it's accelerating. AI is the engine behind the next huge wave of technology, and its role in our society is only going to get bigger.
So, at the end of the day, this whole conversation isn't really just about code and algorithms. It's about us. The future of AI is a story that we are all writing, right now, together. It's shaped by the choices we make, the values we decide to program into these systems, and the kind of world we ultimately want to build. The question isn't just what AI can do, it's what we will choose to do with it.